I think that if they just sit over there, maybe like just that whole section for the choir would be great, because in that way they're an easy walk up to the stage.
Okay, so go ahead and connect. See if you can connect. Oh, I can.
Okay, take note exactly of where you are. That's where you need to get back. Okay, seat, please.
So maybe you should try it because I'm not connecting. So I'm live right now. And we should have audio too.
And sometimes my
yeah, I know. Like you might have to be on that Wi-Fi to get on.
okay, well, let me make sure I'm on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and so
I can't establish a secure connection to the server. Huh?
Hey, Lindsay. Mark asked where I just told the choir to sit over there, so it's an easy move up to the stage. All right. We're gonna test the thingamajigger right now. I'm just trying to see if I hook up to the wires.
Hi, I'm Steve.
Hi,
Oh, this
I'm
is
Lindsay.
Steve.
Nice.
Of cocktail.
Really?
You told me, yeah.
Wow. All right,
Exactly.
I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take
You
it.
know?
Yeah. Okay. I'm still
Thank you.
hooking up. So let me just go. Oh, no. Let me just go here.
I'm gonna. Okay, can you?
Because
check now? I'm gonna ask Kelly to check.
my wireless is terrible. But I actually should. Okay, now I'm in at least to that.
Started.
Okay, so now I'm gonna. Are you going live?
Yeah, I am live right now. I'm checking audio and video.
One shot at this. Memorize where you are.
Okay, I'm trying to connect to the YouTubes. I'm connected to the YouTube. All right. Here we go. Oh,
They are.
there we go. There
All
it
right.
is. There it is.
So maybe the only thing. Let's see.
And I'm still connecting, but that's just because my
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is
I'm
terrible.
having Kelly check. She's on Wi-Fi at home, so.
Okay. Yeah, you have Kelly check.
Yeah.
Dude, Nina's story about the Dr. Seuss books.
Isn't that good?
Crazy. Unbelievable.
Can we get somebody to just give a test up there from the main mic?
Yeah.
Like that dude?
Hey, Mark, whatever that young woman's name is that's right next to the yellow microphone, would you have her just do a quick little test into that big microphone real quick?
I don't know that it's on right now, but
Oh.
Lindsay's gonna have the speakers all go through it a second.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, choir, figure it out. Thank you.
Okay, so now then that big mic will go down, will come down. So it won't be there almost the whole show, because the choir doesn't sing until the very last, I think. And so then that'll come down. And then you'll have a Jasmine right here.
Okay. So the weirdest thing about being live is like
Okay, they're going to test the mics right now. So
is while you're waiting, like in between quarters on football games, like Kelly's listening to us right now. She can hear everything we say.
all right.
And so like 100 people are listening to. So when Tim Kruger would come by and go, other people can listen to. We got 4 people on.
Who's on? You, me, Kelly, and
I don't even know if I'm on. We got 4. It's gonna be a big crowd.
it probably will be. Because no parents are allowed to come in.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's only kids.
God, you know how many cases Moraga has in the last 2 weeks? 1.
Really?
I don't know. There maybe like it's like Moraga and Linda around like half a case a day.
This could be a super spreader. This is like my favorite thing. I like this little event more than I like graduation, because it's just like really about the kids, and
Yeah.
and graduation is really about the parents.
Yeah, right. The kids like doing stuff for each other and celebrating each other.
And so then after they're done here, they'll walk that way and they'll go get their caps and gowns.
Oh, wow.
And then they made them like little cups of candy and stuff in it.
Oh, but they're not graduating today, are they?
No, so everybody graduates Friday.
Right.
You're gonna have a high school graduate next year, a high school senior
I
next
know.
year.
It's crazy.
Who's already into collge. Dude,
Theoretically.
I got a story for you, so
Oh, really?
you can tell her. So I have a young man who is going to San
Uh-huh.
and his coach has said you can't get a C. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but he's like you cannot get a C in economics. So he's like hustling. He's going to be fine, but he was like stressed.
Oh no.
So just tell Nina,
No C's.
You don't have to be great, but
You can't be bad.
you can't be
Yeah,
you
her
can't be
coach
bad.
told her that, and then she kind of stressed out briefly because teacher didn't have an assignment like turned in or something. It was just a miscommunication.
Yeah. I'll be more worried about next year. John, this is Steve Staller.
Steve,
Hi
thanks
there.
for doing this.
Principal
My
John.
pleasure. My
Yeah.
pleasure. Yeah,
Nice
good to
to
be
meet
here.
you.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I told Dino it's like I have a business where I used all this gear, and I'm always looking for like pro bono work to do. So
Okay. We're always looking for pro bono.
see, it's a match made in heaven, right?
Did it grab the Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi grabbed. We are. Yeah.
So, I just have this link on the webpage for the parents. I've sent it.
That's
Is
it.
that's
It works.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm testing it. My wife's at home looking right now. We're just running a test right now.
Oh, okay, great. I'll stay at it.
Just want to hear that main microphone.
Yeah. Is that?
And then I think we'll just go dark a second. Not yet. Any second.
Hi, Kelly.
No, nobody's going to speak.
Let's see if my mom is going to say something.
I think the band's going to practice. You want to go up and say something?
I need one for Mr. Roberts. Oh yeah.
Speaking, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, yeah. Reaches.
Yeah, I'm just checking with my wife to see how it is.
1, 2, 3, reaching the wonderful family sitting in their homes for COVID safety.
Joshua's parents are the only ones watching our live stream.
Yes, this is very important for me that they can hear through the audio at home because they can't come here because they are scared of COVID. Yes, they're super spreaders.
They have Ebola.
We're good. Yep. So I will, just for decorum's sake, I'm going to turn off the audio and just close the camera. We're going to leave it on. Leave the screen on.
Okay. And I'm going to get out of it.
Let's see. So I just have to remember.
This is working out there. This little setup we got going.
I really think it's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be too hot.
It's not a very hot
Yeah,
day.
just leave it.
All right.
All right, go.
Yeah, make sure you mic on. Yeah, no One, two, three, four.
Good start to
That was the best solo you've ever played. Yeah, let's go! And Rogue's fault that I had to try. Blame me. I'm taking full responsibility. Okay, can we let them check your unit here? Yeah.
It looks like they're getting plenty of
That's not solo.
Or is first, we're just gonna figure it out from there.
Yeah. Right
Hello, Campolindo. Thank you for gathering here today.
You gotta speak loudly.
Hello, Campolindo. Thank you all for gathering here today.
Everyone is speaking. The microphone is a hot dog, not an ice cream cone. A hot dog, not an ice cream cone. It'll pick you up way better if it's here than if it's here. That makes sense?
No, I am going to take it. But I just put it back. Okay. Hello, Campolindo. Thank you all for gathering here today, etc., etc.
And I'm Noelle CM.
Oh, yeah. I'm Michelle. Thank you all for gathering here today.
You may have heard the phrase that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay.
5 minutes to finish your story.
Oh, we do need programs? Okay.
It'll be good. Guys,
Is the mic on? Oh, it is. Speech spoilers, speech spoilers, speech spoilers. Let them float into the light. Thank you.
Thank you, Chemo, for your thoughtful words. But before we move on, I'm Sophie Webster.
And I'm Julia Ortega.
And we'll be introducing the various speakers and musical performances throughout the rest of this event.
Now the Campo Jazz Band will be performing their piece, Just a Closer Walk.
I have no idea. I just got here.
Huge shout out to the Jazz Band for their dedication and hard work, especially the seniors who have been attending Zero Period for the past 4 years.
Next, our second and final student speaker for this afternoon is Layla Stoll. Is that better?
No idea.
Oh, keep forgetting. Okay. Our second and final student speaker. Is that better? Our second and final student speaker.
Isabella, can I hold one of those?
This way. Hello? Okay. Hello, testing, testing. Okay. Good? Okay. That way. Wait, do you want to Thank you, Layla, for your eloquent speech.
Now we have another musical performance for you all. This time it's a musical duet by a couple of talented soon-to-be graduates. Yeah, sign Sam here. Wait, where's Sam? Okay. Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you, Sam and Sai, for your amazing performance.
Without further ado, I'm honored to introduce our faculty speaker, Mrs. Jake Donahoe.
Woo! Like this?
I know.
I think Lexi, what do you think?
Why don't we keep it here?
keeps in.
Yes. This is not the end. This is the beginning. So be bold, ladies and gentlemen. Greatness awaits you. Dino, can I get a thumbs up, please? Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Donahoe, for the words of wisdom. We appreciate you and all of the staff at Campolindo more than you know.
Last but not least, the choir ensemble will be performing North by Sleeping at Last.
Yeah. And then
Cooper.
That was a beautiful performance. That was a beautiful performance. I'm Josh Leah,
And I'm Katie Strohmeyer.
and we're here to talk about why Mr. Petrocco called my parents super spreaders. Do you understand the racial connotations of that, Mr. Petrocco? Get your cap and gown by Jiho. Like this. This is better. Talking.
Sophie!
23 people logged
Are
on.
you speaking? I'm sorry, I have to walk for the so cute. Are you speaking? You guys look so cute. Oh my god. Wait, are you speaking? I'm like, okay. Are you speaking for graduation? I'm reading things. That's so fun. Are you guys saying what name do you say? Natalie, so hard. Yeah. Senior class president. Today? Oh. So Pablo's making a difference. Really? We'll go you. Yay. Like made everything okay. Yeah, it just felt like. It makes everything better. Yeah, it's mine. How did your We'll figure out how. Yeah. You guys did these? Yeah. I'll be like, yeah, so yeah. No, we don't. Oh my God. I'll just rant it. I know.
So we drop that mic down. Is that? Are you all right?
Oh, it's
Or do you
perfect.
want me to
Yeah.
move it anymore?
No. I think that's ideal. All right. Thank you.
I was sitting there and I was like, I didn't know that.
Hey, are you graduating from letting you? I told him not to, but okay.
I'm not. I didn't do a speech. I gave up. I was supposed to. I Sophie, 5 minutes.
So go ahead and go live at 2 o'clock. We probably will start like 2:02, 2:03.
Yeah, it's 2. I just went live to hear the music. So we're on now.
Everything's all good?
All good?
Yeah, okay. We're good. I'll be standing over there, so if you need something, just
Okay. Yeah, good.
ultimately, if it like fails,
It's because it's not going to fail.
we're all good. We hired the best.
You hired the best. It's working.
Hey everybody, good afternoon. If we could get you guys to take your seats. Also, if we can get you all to move in and through the inner seats first, that would be awesome. And we're gonna get started here in just a second. Let's hear it for the jazz band.
One, two, three.
He's so cute. I love him. He's just like I think that then also like very similar like sit like
Hello, Campolindo, class of 2021. Welcome to Time of Reflection. I'm Vishal Lashkari.
And I'm Noelle CF.
Thank you all for gathering here today to take a look at the past 4 years of high school. At this time, we ask that you please silence your cell phones. Class of 2021, we can all agree that this has not been an easy journey. We've had the ups and downs of a normal high school experience compounded with the stress of college applications, all on top of a global pandemic. Even the circumstance and last times we will be together as a class this year.
Now you may have heard the phrase, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you haven't heard it, well, it's on the cover of the program that you're holding right now. A light at the end of the tunnel is the notion that a period of adversity or hardship is coming to an end. As you're going to hear today, through the songs and speeches of your peers and faculty, this universal light doesn't look the same for everyone. But whether you came to seek closure, reflect on memories, or simply spend a nice Sunday afternoon with the people who helped shape your life and whose lives you've helped shape in return, we hope that you find a bit of what you're looking for today.
To kick off our time of reflection, we will be hearing from one of our own peers, Himo Akamura, as he guides us through a pivotal life experience of his and showcases the beauty of our last moments together as a class. In his speech, 5 minutes to finish your story.
Hey, it's me, Kimo, and I hope you remember this. Just a few steps from the light at the end of the tunnel. Don't take that next step just yet. It's a little hard to believe that this is the first time I've seen most of you in over a year, and yet it's also the last. I waited and pondered about how I'd welcome myself back, and instead, I have to write a eulogy. Well, we've reached the final frontier of childhood. Welcome. And I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I need to fit my entire story into 4 minutes and 37 seconds before you have to walk into the light for yourselves. If there's one thing that Campolindo has done right, which, for the record, I think they've done a lot of things right, but it's that they've taught me that stories have a particular power. Stories have the ability to create life. Every artist, every athlete, everyone has a story to tell. Your time, your memories, your authentic self, and your life. And that's how you turn 4 minutes into a lifetime and a well-deserved memorial. I distinctly remember the feeling when my grandfather was lying in bed. It was hardly shocking. He was 89, a survivor of most tours of cancer and World War II. He was not the luckiest soldier, but somehow he always kept up the appearance that he was going to live forever. He somehow figured it all out. He survived literal prison camps and still smiled like he'd never left his hometown of childhood USA. Now, my own grandpa was seconds from moving on into the light at the end of his own tunnel. And only then did I realize something deeply wrong had happened. When did I lose so much time? I mean, I had to cut 3 minutes of my most cherished memories of him because I need the extra time to address you. I think this story needs to be told now because I wonder how many of you are realizing it too. Without the illusion of permanence, everything you thought you'd work for can seem so fleeting. Nice to meet you, but how can you leave now just when I seem to figure myself out? Do you remember me? Will you? I ever wish that you just had a little more. If you have these fears, you have to let them go. Some of you are probably stressed about how quickly you seemingly grew up, that we always seem to be short on time. What I realized a lot later is that while I may never complete the story of him or all of you, that's all right. We can only do what we've done, and then we got to continue writing. It's more than just living life with no regrets. In the face of all kinds of adversity, plenty of things to think about in the long nights. The amount of time Grandpa had never seemed to faze him, content, even facing death. Life is going to ask you a limitless amount of questions. What if COVID never happened? What if you spent more time while they were still here? What if you never see this town again? What if? Forget all of that. Have you done enough? That's the only question you have to answer. And it might be to a crowd of strangers. And it might be to your family at your bedside. And maybe it's just to a crowd of one. At that point, your cover will close. And as long as you told it with all your heart, exactly authentic to your voice, letting go of each and every pretense, mistakes, missed opportunities, regrets, lengths, short-sightedness, nostalgia, naivety, change, the answer will certainly be yes. A part of me hasn't even followed my own advice. And a part of me doesn't want to accept I've got 38 seconds to say everything I wanted to say for the last 18 years. That one day, today, I might have to let go of all of you and the emotional weight that comes with it. I could hold on, wishing I had a little more, always a little more time. But I'm not going to make that same mistake again. I've done enough. We've all done enough. It's time to finish the story. And I hold my hand, and I hold his hand in mine. The room is dim. I hope you can hear me, Grandpa. This is for you. This is for all of you. I'm glad I got to be a part of your story. Here's what rests at the bottom of my page. Before I close up the book of my grandfather, my childhood, my code is also true at the end of each and every one of yours. Hey, it's me, Chemo. Good luck. And I hope you're happy. And then there's nothing more to say. So I finally let him go and let you all walk into the light.
Thank you, Chemo, for your thoughtful words. I think we can all relate to your profound message of freeing oneself from regret in the past in order to move on to new experiences. But before we move on, I'm Sophie Webster.
And I'm Julia Ortega.
And a quick side note before we get on to the rest of the event. This program that you guys have, there's a graduation card inside of there. There's pens being passed around as well. Please fill that out, as that will be your key to getting your photo of you walking at graduation. But basically, we will be introducing the various speakers and musical performances for the rest of this event.
Now, the Campo Jazz Band will be performing their piece, Just a Closer Walk. Thank you for that beautiful piece. Huge shout out to the jazz band for their dedication and hard work, especially the seniors who have been coming to Zero Period for the past 4 years.
Next, our second and final student speaker for this afternoon will be addressing the importance of cherishing life's small moments, especially in the wake of our extremely unusual senior year. Delivering her speech, The Moments That Matter Most, Layla Stoll.
Once in a lifetime. It's a phrase people use to describe events they think are essential to their lives. Maybe it's a once-in-a-lifetime trip to a country you've always wanted to visit. Maybe it's a once-in-a-lifetime job offer at a big company. Or If you're a Campo student like me, maybe it's the once-in-a-lifetime chance to go to prom with the rest of your class, where you could dance the night away to late 2000s pop songs. A once-in-a-lifetime experience that happened 0 times for the class of 2021. I used to evaluate my life according to those once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-decade, or once-in-a-year experiences. Those big events I dreamed about long before they happened. Those events I put in big capital letters on my calendar so I could count down the days until they came. I definitely had a lot of those big events to think about last spring before things changed. I was ready to go on the Mexico trip for the first time, a trip that everyone told me was transformative. I was ready to watch my friends on stage in their performance of Titanic. And I don't know if you've heard of Kappa, but I was ready to perform in our annual June show, an experience I always cherish. And yes, I already sent a picture of my prom dress to the Campo Prom Dresses 2021 Instagram account, and I was ready to dance the night away. I was ready for it all. Then March 12th came, and I think that day is so solidified in our minds that I barely have to describe it. The gist of it, though, is that it was the day when all of the big things, the once-in-a-lifetime things, started to get canceled. The Mexico trip, Titanic, prom, the June show, suddenly gone from my calendar. Even the APUSH President's Quiz was canceled, and we all know that APUSH stops for nothing. As we entered a year that would ultimately be marked by unimaginable human loss, our once-in-a-lifetime experiences seem to be gone as well. However, as I adjusted to a life defined by distance, as well as this super cool app called Zoom, I was surprised by how quickly I got over the cancellations of the milestone events I had been looking forward to. Yes, for some time I was disappointed that I was missing out on that quintessential prom experience, and that I wouldn't get to dance on stage as a culmination of my junior year. But these big events, these once-in-a-lifetime experiences, were not what I missed the most. Not at all. What I missed the most was walking into Mrs. Donahoe's room at 7:58 every Tuesday morning and seeing Otis wagging his tail under the table, waiting for jittery students to drop crumbs just for him. What I missed the most was when everyone in my calc class would stop taking derivatives for 5 minutes while we waited for Mr. Petraeus to play that day's music challenge, which would, no doubt, be some obscure rock song from the 70s. What I missed the most was running into people in the halls that I hadn't seen in a year, making small talk and walking away knowing that that little interaction, while very awkward, made both of our days a bit brighter. What I missed the most was sitting outside at lunch, feeling the sun on my skin, seeing the blue sky, and listening to the lively chatter of my friends and peers, knowing that no matter what happened in the previous class or the next, this beautiful moment was enough. I realized that what I missed the most were not the once-in-a-lifetime events, but the everyday moments. Moments I not only took for granted, but sometimes didn't even recognize. They were moments I couldn't plan for or mark on my calendar in big capital letters, and yet they were the moments that truly mattered the most to me. So, as our community began to open up and I could return to my dance studio and then to Campo, I decided to approach my life differently than I had before things changed. Yes, I would still look forward to the once-in-a-lifetimes, like choosing a college to attend, going to this time of reflection ceremony, and finally, graduating. But I would now know that what is most important are the everyday things. The laughs, the smiles, the hugs, the tears, the music, the dances, the group chats, the Snapchats, the early mornings, and the late nights, and everything in between. I will focus on these things, not because they are once in a lifetime, but because they are what life is really made of. And now, we, the class of 2021, are at a time when our futures finally seem to be in reach, not just because we are leaving high school and stepping into the world as adults, but because after cycles of closings and openings, it seems as if we have truly turned the corner on this pandemic. And with our futures in front of us, we know that we are on the brink of many new milestones, many firsts, many once-in-a-lifetimes. But I want us to remember that the most meaningful moments, the moments we'll miss the most when they're gone, are not moments that we can even imagine right now. They are not moments that we can mark on our calendars, and they probably won't end up in our Instagram feeds. They will be subtle and small, and they will be beautiful, and it will be up to us to notice them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Layla, for your eloquent speech.
Now we have another musical performance for you all this time. It's a musical duet by a couple of talented soon-to-be graduates. Introducing Sam Hansen and Cy Anderson performing World Spins Madly On.
Thank you.
I woke up, wish that I was dead, with an aching in my head. I lay motionless in bed. I thought of you and where you'd gone. Let the world spin madly on. And everything that I said I'd do, like make the world brand new and take the time for you. I just got lost and slept right through the dawn, and the world spins madly on. I let the day go by. I always say goodbye. I watch the stars from my windowsill. The world is moving, I'm standing still. I woke up wishing I was dead, with an aching in my head. I lay motionless in bed. The night is here, and the day is gone, and the world spins madly on. I thought of you, where you'd gone, and the world spins madly on. And the world spins madly on. And the world spins madly on and on and on. Hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah.
Thank you, Sam and Cy, for that amazing performance.
Now we all know that we probably wouldn't be here today, less than a week away from our graduation and about to embark onto the next phase of our lives, without the support and instruction from our incredible Campolindo faculty. Today, we'll be hearing from a teacher whose energy and passion for her teaching and student success is unparalleled. Personally, she opened up my understanding to the complexity behind both literature and life, and I grew more as a student in her class than I ever had before. But I know I am just one of the many students in this class whose life and educational experiences she has touched. Without further ado, I am honored to introduce our faculty speaker, Mrs. Jake Donahoe.
It's been a long time. I really missed you guys. Holy cow. All right, let's do this. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The last year's been rough, and there's a lot of discussion about the things you missed out on, the rituals, the community, the casual connections we take for granted. But the last year has given us the opportunity to stop and look around. In making our world so much smaller, we're forced to take stock. For me, it felt like I was waiting for the world to embolden me, to inspire me, to entertain me. And it didn't. I had so many thoughts before this last year about what I would do when I had time. I would make art. I would grow my own vegetables. I would learn how to play freebird on the accordion. I did none of those things. I watched absurd amounts of mediocre television, surfed social media till my eyes hurt, and just loaded the dishwasher over and over again. It reminded me of all the conversations I've had with so many of you over the years who tell me that once they're in college, they're gonna relax. They're gonna slow down. They're gonna stop freaking out about grades. They're not gonna let grades define their happiness. Those students, like myself, thought that change would happen simply because the universe willed it to happen. And maybe that's part of the reason we are so anxious to get back to our rituals after a year of isolation. We need things like graduation to signify that the old ways are done so that we all level up to the new ways. But we still bring the old us to the new ways. We bring our history to our future. When I started high school, I was so excited. This was it. I was not only gonna fit in, but I was gonna be cool. I would hang out with other cool people. We would do cool people things. I don't know exactly what that was, but I knew that if I did everything right, at some point, a really cute guy was gonna hold a boombox over his head and told me he loved me in front of everyone. But I knew I needed to work to make that happen. I needed to be nice to everyone, all of the time. I needed to get really good grades, but downplay their importance. I somehow needed to try really hard to look like I wasn't trying at all. I saw girls that pulled this off, and I just kind of emulated everything they did. And it kind of worked, but it was exhausting. And I always felt like if I wasn't hyper vigilant, then it would all just go away. And if I was at my most honest, it was kind of boring. I mean, I never had real conversations with anyone. I never talked about what I was really into with anyone because no one at any party I had been to at that point ever sat around talking about whether Orwell was right or we're all just cogs in the capitalist machine. And then something amazing happened. I switched high schools partway through sophomore year, and I didn't know anyone. And this gave me a chance to try out a whole new me. All right, guys, More accurately, the real me, whoever that was. So I joined marching band and the Dungeons and Dragons Club. And I picked my friends based purely on whether I thought they were smart or talented. I wrote aggressive, arrogant pieces for our anonymous underground newspaper where I belittled everything that was cool around me. And it was glorious. I'm not saying that being a bitter, arrogant intellectual is for everyone, but it worked for me. Brene Brown writes that in order for us to experience real connection, we have to allow ourselves to be really seen. And what I mean by connection is that energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, when they derive strength from that relationship. These are the relationships that lift you up. And so when I look back on my early high school time of trying so desperately to win at high school, I realized that my greatest fear wasn't that I was going to wake up and be rejected by all of my friends, but that if I were to show them the real me, the nerdy, loud, romantic, goofy me, they would leave. So if I wore a mask, lowered my volume, pretended to be someone else, and they rejected me, it was all just a game. And while that kept me safe, it also meant that I was all alone. And when I think about those first few years in high school, all that comes back to me now is that I was so terribly lonely, even amongst all of my friends. The struggle to be real is not one struggle. When I tell the story that I decided to embrace my inner geek, it sounds as though once I did it, everything fell into place. In that moment of transcendent acceptance, I conquered it all. In fact, I didn't. The change was far more about knowing what I was not than knowing who I am. I mean, honestly, I'm not even totally sure I know who I am even now. Is there ever a point when you're fully who you are? Or are you constantly adapting to the new world that is presented to you every morning? Here's what I do know. Everything that I have ever learned about myself, I have learned by doing something that terrified me. According to Brene Brown again, we can choose courage or we can choose comfort, but we cannot have both, not at the same time. And it was this logic that put me in the same spot you were as freshmen back in 2017. After a long time in the counseling office, I made the jump to teaching English. I loved what I did, but I craved change. I made the jump, and I can't possibly regret a moment of it. I stood across from many of you that first year, and I was terrified that I couldn't do it, that I couldn't get you to question the world the way beautiful writing does, that I couldn't get you to find your voice. I wanted all of you to know that I was 100% behind you, but I was scared stiff that you would see right through me and know that I was winging it. The first 2 weeks, I went home every day, laid on the floor, and told Jamie I wasn't sure I was going to make it. And every day, he patted me on the head and then asked me what was for dinner. I kept showing up, and in the end, I think it was clear to me that it was my job to help guide you to that golden divinity in you, for you to see how much power you have and not accept the world as it has been handed to you. I should also take this opportunity to thank you all for helping me raise Otis. He showed up that first day, 4 months old, and grew up knowing nothing but love from all of you. I would like to apologize on his behalf for the sandwiches that he stole out of your backpacks, and the dog hair, and the drool. I will always remember watching him sit next to you while he desperately tried to convince you he was starving to death. I know many of you loved him, and you should all know he 100% loves you too. And your snacks. But mostly you. When I left for college in the dark ages of the late 80s, I packed my VW Bug with everything I owned, drove to Berkeley. I vaguely knew a couple of friends from high school and no one else. I couldn't afford the dorms, so I had to find a place to live and a job as soon as I possibly could. The cheapest place I could find was in an all-male rooming house near campus, and it was there that I watched endless dramas unfold. My neighbors were loud, messy, and brilliant, and I quickly learned that if I was willing to show up and occasionally chip in for a pizza, I would witness what happened when geniuses get created. One of my genius roommates was a guy named Benny, severely dyslexic. He could barely read. But if somebody read something to him, he had 100% recall. I sat in his workshop reading a repair manual to him while he installed a brand new engine in my car. He was fearless in having an idea and then relentlessly pursuing it. To me, who had played it safe for so long, he was an enigma. He lived purely in the present. He figured out a way, in fact, to take this electroluminescent wire that you attach to a battery pack and create these amazing sculptures. Showing up meant that I got to see what it looked like when a group of mountain bikers attached 4-foot glowing fish sculptures to the back of their bikes and rode in a pack through Tilden Park at night. Watching this pool of fish glide through the trees was incredible. The mantra of just showing up has served me ever since. I just need to get out of my own way. When I do that, when I'm truly there and not constantly measuring myself, I see amazing things, beautiful things, epic things. And the more I do that, the more I realize that the best thing ever is to seek out that beauty. Emerson was right when he said that every man is a divinity in disguise, a god playing a fool. Seeking that divinity, that golden light that resides in every one of us, is how we determine who we are and what we believe. You are most likely leaving home soon. And you're leaving behind all of this. Even though I am sure that the vast majority of you are bored and a little disdainful of the sleepy town that you grew up in. You're used to it. You know the rules. You have your people. And this next thing, this next step that you've been thinking about, obsessing over, daydreaming about, is finally here. You have an option. You can recreate the comfort of what you know. Or you can feel the fear and still show up. Go to the event no one wants to. Learn to surf. Find beauty in the moment and let that beauty help you realize who you are. Let people really see you. But in order to do that, you're going to have to slow down. Stop the list making, the anxiety that makes you replay every interaction, the fear of what others might think, the obsession with planning your future. And when you do that, awkwardly at first, you will start to hear that divine voice that will show you the way. Remember, every day you have the opportunity to remake your universe. Whether you're 18 or you're 50. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here to speak to you today. I'm so proud that in a way, we started this journey together 4 years ago. Remember, this isn't the end. This is just the beginning of it all. So be bold, ladies and gentlemen. Greatness awaits you.
Thank you, Mrs. Donahoe, for your words of wisdom. We appreciate you and all of the staff at Campolindo more than you could ever know.
Last but not least, the choir ensemble will be performing North by Sleeping at Last.
Thank you. That was a beautiful performance. I'm Joshua Liao.
And I'm Katie Strohmeyer. Thank you again to all of our musical performers today. You have cultivated your talent as students and have now helped us to reflect on our time at Campo. Thanks again.
And thank you again to Kimo and Layla. Your perspectives are really unique, but encapsulate what we've been feeling these past 4 years and really help us reflect over our high school lives and allowed us to see some of the light coming with graduation.
And of course, one more thank you to Mrs. Donahoe, as well as Mrs. Bodpeplo and Mr. Petracco, who have helped the committee put all of this together. As some of the only people here who have actually graduated high school, your commitment to your students and their success is felt by everyone and serves as an example of how to live your adult life with passion. Another shout out goes to our administration, custodial staff, and sound team who have helped to ensure that this event goes smoothly.
And last but certainly not least, thank you to all the parents and our parent advisors who sent us to high school as nervous 8th graders, and now we are young adults going out ready to face what is next. At the conclusion of the speech, please help yourself to refreshments and pick up your cap and gown by G-Hole. Remember, you have that card in your program for all your sodas. And see you all at graduating rehearsal on 9 a.m. Friday.
Yeah.